Pink, Fkin Perfect. Going with the PG layer for the song title there. Getting into Pink for the first time on the channel today. And we're getting into her. Kind of sounds weird when I say that. We're checking. I know I was just about to say checking her out. Really not off to a good start with this video. But it's probably fitting because apparently this video can be a little uncomfortable in general from Pink. That's the word that we've gotten from Mark. So Mark has requested this, and that's what I was about to get into by saying that we are coming to Pink via Mark, who has made many requests, right, Sam?
Yes, thank you so much, Mark, for making another sponsored request. And, he's been a large part of this channel, so we appreciate you.
Yeah, and this is going to be interesting because I'm not really familiar with Pink all that much. I mean, I think there might be some bigger songs that I've heard on the radio or something like that. She really, I think, was blowing up around this time, 2010, when this song was released.
Yeah, through the 2000s, she was growing pretty big, like early 2000s, I'd say.
Yeah, and Mark sent us another performance around, attributed to New Year's. It was a little bit before New Year's.
Raise Your Glass.
And so that was what we got. We didn't post that on the channel, but that was
for fun.
some exposure already to Pink.
Yeah.
And so for me, I was just getting to the point of saying that I might not be familiar with the song or the video, whereas Sam, that's not true for you.
No, I'm definitely more familiar with Pink than you are, I would probably say. I wouldn't say I was like a huge fan, but I did listen to some of her music growing up, as well as remember hearing it all over the radio. So I definitely know this song for sure. I know that already, but I've never seen the video, I don't think. So that will be first for me.
All right. And if you have any other recommendations or requests, drop them down low in the comments section and let us know where we should go next with Pink. Yes. And I just found out that Pink is spelled with an exclamation mark. I didn't, didn't realize that either. So adds a little bit of flair. And I feel like that's good though that she did that, because typing in Pink as an artist, right? There's so many other things that will come up with Pink, even if you do that on YouTube. If you type in Pink with the I instead of the exclamation mark.
Well, I also think too, like you said, she did it because like her personality is kind of like an exclamation mark, and her music is like that. Like she talks a lot about like, self-worth and like being, empowering yourself and all that kind of thing. So her personality is kind of like exclamation mark. She also has bright pink short hair. Not all the time, but a lot of the time.
Well, let's see if we're going to get into some of that on this one here. Make sure you hit the like button if you enjoy the video. Let's go. Okay.
Interesting start.
That seemed fun.
Made a wrong turn once or twice. Dug my way out, blood and fire. Bad decisions, that's alright. Welcome to my silly life. Mistreated, this place misunderstood. Knowing it's all good. Didn't slow me down. Mistaken, always second guessing, underestimated. Look, I'm still around. Pretty please, don't you ever feel like you're less than fucking perfect. Pretty please, if you ever feel like you're nothing, you're fucking perfect to me. You're so mean when you talk about yourself. You were wrong. Change the voices in your head. Make them like you instead. So complicated. Look how we are making. Filled with so much hatred. Such a tired game. It's enough. I've done all I can think of.
So I clearly see why there's an expletive in the song title here. She's trying to add that exclamation point on the statement that she's making of people can be themselves, and you should be themselves, be yourself. And there's going to be doubt that's going to creep into your head about who you are because of outside pressures. And that can really weigh on you. And this messaging is obviously directed at, you are just fine. You're just fine. You're just fine the way you are. And I think it's interesting, though, that she put, like I said, the expletive in the song title because she's clearly trying to make a point with that.
Yeah. And I think that the video complements, the meaning of the song very well, because they're highlighting like it started as a little girl, right? But kind of like, I feel like in your adolescent years, obviously adults struggle with this too, but I think in your adolescent years, like you're going through so many changes and trying to figure out who you are and, how you fit in. And I think this is a message that young people really need because it's so hard, right? Like, especially with kind of like the bullying in the video where you can tell that this young teenage girl is like trying to compare herself to these like popular girls and she doesn't feel like she fits in. And you see her mom criticizing her. And like, these are things that like young girls go through. I'm assuming probably boys to some degree, but I was never a young boy to know, all the time, right? And especially like this is from 2010, but even in today's day and age with social media and all these things and constantly comparing yourself and not knowing like who you're supposed to be or how you fit in, I think it's really important to have this message.
Yeah, it comes back to identity, I think, right? Identity can be discussed in many, many different ways, but when you're a teenager, especially, but I think, as you said, it is applicable to adults. It's applicable to everybody.
Yeah.
Your identity gets questioned so often, and you question yourself about that identity very often. Who am I? Who do I want to be? Where do I want to go in life? What do I want to represent? Which values do I hold? Those are constantly evolving throughout your life, and that comes back to identity, which I think this, is obviously getting at.
And comparing yourself to other people.
Filled with so much hatred, such a tired game. It's enough, I've done all I can think of. Chased down all my demons, I've seen you do the same. Oh, pretty, pretty please, don't you ever feel like you're less than fucking perfect. Pretty, pretty please, if you ever feel like you're nothing, you're fucking perfect to me. The whole world's scared, so I swallow the fear. The only thing I should be drinking is an ice cold beer. So cool in line, and we try, but we try too hard, and it's a waste of my time. Done looking for the critics, cause they're everywhere. They don't like my jeans, they don't get my hair. Exchange ourselves, and we do it all the time. Why do we do that? Why do I do that? Why do I do that?
So, I mean, it's interesting that Pink made it a point to say, to me, right? So I think that is cool for her fans and people that like her music as well, because she's directing a message towards people that listen to her music by saying that you're perfect to me, right? And it adds reassurance to people that are listening to her music, that are, resonate with her as a person, her image, the influence that she's providing with the song is obviously a positive message, which is great because you don't get that very frequently in music. A lot of the times it's a negative message, whether it's drug use or whatever, right? We saw some of that pain, some of that self-inflicted pain, and there was the direct visual of that with the cutting, but also you could argue that drug use, which was seen in the bathroom, also would be that self-harm.
Yep.
And I think that was a clever way to say that, when you're struggling with some of these things, your self-harm, how you harm yourself because you have problems internally that are not being dealt with, can come out in different ways. It's not, going to be the same for everybody, the way they harm themselves when they're trying to deal with these internal issues. So I found that, she touched on a lot of topics, got a very strong message, had a positive message at that, but in a hard-hitting way with the video, and did a lot in 3.5 minutes. So obviously, creatively, really cool to see somebody step outside the lane of, your bubblegum pop, for a hit record type thing, and do something that matters. And specifically, I think matters for her fans, right?
Well, yeah, and I mean, like you said, it's definitely different, but it still did really well in the charts. It went to number 2 on the U.S. Billboard Hot 100. So, it just shows that you can have a serious, impactful meaning and still do really well, right? And get outside that bubblegum kind of pop genre. And I also feel like, just to kind of touch on you saying, like, the self-harm coming out and like basically manifesting in different ways for people. I think a lot of that comes back to having an outlet for your emotions, right? And I think she kind of showed that in the video. By the end of her outlet became painting and was in the gallery with her painting being shown and stuff like that, right? So I think, again, right, I think it's important for everyone in life, but also going back to the theme of younger people, a lot of younger people don't have that outlet because they don't know where to go, where to turn when they have like these conflicting and raging emotions, right? So I think she did a really good job of showing that. And then musically, I feel like the song was really good because it had this impactful message, but it was this like easy listening experience where it was like catchy, it had a good melody, her vocal sounded really good. So I enjoyed it.
Yeah, and I'm curious because in the beginning she said, she made reference that it was her story. And then this girl at the end here has really short hair, and she was raising her glass to Pink in the video. So I don't know if this is actually her story that she went through. And that's what this is representing.
Yeah.
Because you just referenced, right, she focused more on artistic components, right? It was painting in this sense, but we know that obviously Pink became an artist in a musical sense. So I think that's another thing that was, getting to the point of society has your expectations of what maybe you should be, a lawyer or a doctor or whatever, but maybe you don't fit into that mold because you have more of an artistic personality and you're, people have different types of IQs and everything else, right? So society might have a tendency to say that what you bring to the table is not worthy or not valuable, right? And that makes you feel inferior and that you're not valuable to, people around you and everything else. But this, I think, as a message is saying that no, everybody has their own unique talents. You just got to find your lane, and you're perfect just the way you are, because what you bring to the table is very different than what everybody else does. And that's what makes life so beautiful in that sense, that everybody offers something different, right? So,
yeah. The last thing I'll just say is that I really liked how they ended the video, kind of coming full circle of her as a young woman coming back to the child, because I feel like in this case of this story, it all started when she was a little girl and she was being bullied, right? So kind of like her as an adult coming around to being like, it's all going to be okay, and like there's nothing wrong with you type thing.
So that was our first introduction to Pink on the channel. Thanks so much, Mark, for making another sponsored video. Mark clearly has a very eclectic taste because we've gone back to the 60s with Mark, and then now we've gone into the 2010s. So clearly Mark has had an impact on the channel, and we are grateful for that. We're grateful for every single one of you that have made an impact. And that's a lot of you, because we have over 260,000 subscribers now, which is insane. Never would have thought that was possible. That's bigger than the city that we grew up in. So we've got our own big city here in the community on YouTube that we are so grateful for. And if you want to be a part of it, we'd love to have you. Hit that subscribe button. Hopefully we see you on the next video. Take care.
Thanks so much for watching, guys. See you next time.